Hey guys, thanks for stopping by for this video. So it's that time of year again. We're going to take a look at the whole year, do a quick little recap in our mind of all the polishes released this year, and I'm going to show you my top 10-ish favorite mainstream polishes that I reviewed this year. So I don't know if you were counting. I had to stop and do like a rough count, but I actually swatched 935 polishes on this channel this year. That's a rough estimate. It's actually probably a little bit more, but that's how many polishes I've swatched for you guys. So out of all of those polishes, I've narrowed down approximately my 10 favorite mainstream polishes released. So maybe 2 years ago when I started getting fully into the indie polish train, I would definitely have to say that I have less favorite mainstream polishes than I used to. It's kind of like a rabbit hole. Once you get going down that path, it's hard to stop because indie makers can do so many cool things compared to what most mainstream brands do, because they're keeping things rather simple for the mass production of things. But I do have some really good polishes to show you today. So we're not going to swatch anything. I'm just going to talk about them. I will refer to what video they're in if you want to go watch that video and you could see how this is swatched. I believe all of these polishes are still available. That is the other thing about mainstream polishes, is that not really any of them are going to be limited edition, I don't think, so you should be able to find them. So let's go ahead and get started. It wouldn't be an end of the year video if I didn't wear my absolute favorite shirt. So you guys have seen me in this shirt a lot this year, but it's my favorite shirt. It just feels cozy. You guys know you have those clothes that you put them on and you're just like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a good day because I feel cozy today. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. These are not in any particular order. I have 10 polishes here and 2 honorable mentions. So let me just go ahead. I'll just go ahead and start with, I'll do each brand at a time. And like I said, these aren't my most favorite because I'm talking about them first, or my most favorite won't be last. I'm just kind of going off my list that I've made here. What I did was I went through my Instagram and I just scanned through the whole thing, and I basically just picked the polishes that jumped out at me. Sometimes when I really liked 2 or 3 polishes in one collection, I looked to see which one had the most Instagram likes. So, you know, which one was most appealing to you guys. That kind of helped me figure out, you know, if I had a really tough decision to make between a couple of polishes. So let's go ahead and start with Color Club. Color Club doesn't get a lot of love, but I felt like 2 collections in particular from them this year were really, really great. The So Lit collection was released in the springtime, and then the Retrograde Rising collection was released in the fall. And I thought they were both fantastic. So the So Lit collection was just full of really awesome, pigmented, very bright cream polishes. There wasn't any shimmer in here. There were a few that were more like on a typical fluorescent formula where they were a little bit more thin, but for the most part they were incredibly pigmented. Fantastic formula. I highly recommend that whole collection to you guys. It's a lot of very similar kind of shades. So this is one collection in particular that I kind of like had to choose between, but the one I'm going to show you, let's just let it represent that whole collection, was fantastic. So the polish that got the most Instagram likes out of that collection on my page was this one here, and I really, really liked this one. It's this incredibly pigmented teal, like aqua teal shade. But anyway, this is called Mad About Marley, and it's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous, and this represents what the whole collection has. It has a lot of reds, oranges, yellows, greens, and blues. It doesn't really move over into indigo or violet. Does it have a pink in there? I don't even think it has a pink. I think it skips pink as well. So anyway, that whole collection is fantastic. I was thinking about picking the lime shade to share with you guys today, but really, go check it out. I think I purchased it on Head to Toe Beauty, either that or Trans Design, but anyway. Yeah, that's really good. So then from the Retrograde Rising collection, I picked out this polish, which in the video I told you guys was my favorite polish out of the whole collection, and it's because it's very different. So a lot of mainstream polishes I feel like end up looking the same because there's only so much you can do with a basic cream or a basic shimmer. But this was a polish that I hadn't seen before from an indie brand, and I really, really liked it. So what this is, this has a shifty shimmer in it, which I was so happy to see some mainstream brands branch out into that this year, and it made me really excited. This polish is called Off the Charts, by the way, and it's a blue base, but it's very sheer. Not so sheer that it's not totally buildable at 3 coats, but it's sheer because that kind of shifty shimmer is really strong, and they really wanted that to be like the powerhouse, you know, steal the show component of this polish, and that it does. It is so bright green at some points, and then it's more of like a cool pinky gold at some angles, but the green is just like eye-searingly gorgeous. So I love this. That whole collection was great. It's a mix of shimmers and creams if you're into both. It's really, really good, and it doesn't have quite as many things that are as similar to each other that the Solek collection did. So anyway, this is another stand-in for that collection, but more so than in the Solek collection, I feel like this, for me, was the standout. Let's move on to Essie. I have two polishes to share with you from Essie. I feel like Essie had a pretty great year. As far as their creams went, I felt like they did a lot of similar things to polishes that they already have in their line. However, when it came to some metallics and shimmers, I thought they really did a great job. So the first one that blew me out of the water this year was this polish called Vous. This polish was in the summer 2017 collection, and they don't name their collections like a lot of other brands do, but it's from the summer collection. What it is, it's a really bright silvered pink metallic, and it's the kind of metallic where it's not like the chromy kind where you can see the brush strokes. It's the kind where it more just looks like not really little dots, but that's kind of what the surface looks like. Anyway, I loved this. I thought that it was just so bright and fun. Definitely one of my favorite pinks that I saw this year, so I really highly recommend that. And then also from Essie, just in their most recent holiday collection, I really love that holiday collection. You guys, by the way, go check out that video if you didn't watch it yet. I really like the whole thing, but this polish was the standout for me. It's a gray. It's like a taupey gray with a shifty, yay, a shifty shimmer that is going between like a peachy red to a gold. And I just thought it was fantastic. It could have maybe been a little bit more shifty on the nail, like as shifty as it looks in the bottle, but what it did have was a really great opaque formula too. So think the more opaque the base is, the less you're going to be able to see the shimmer unless they absolutely dump, you know, more shimmer in there than they're putting of pigment. So, you know, it depends on what the brand wants to do, but it had a great formula, and I thought the color was really fun and something that I hadn't seen from them before, so I was really happy to see this. This polish is called Social-Lights with a hyphen in between those two words. Let's break it up right now here in the middle with a very inexpensive favorite in mainstream, and this is from Sinful Colors. And I wanted to share with you this yellow. This was promoted in a few of their collections this year, and the number is such that I think that it might have actually been released last year, but they showed it a lot in their collections this year, so I might be fudging it a little bit here. If this was released last year, please excuse me, but it for sure was in some of their displays this year. And this is in here because this is one of my favorite mainstream yellows I've ever tried, and it's because the formula is really great. Yellows are hard to get to be not streaky. It's just because it's a very light pigment, and so in order to make it nice and bright, you maybe have to add a lot of white in it, and then that takes away your yellow color. So it's a tricky one, and I think that they do a really good job here, and it's a $2 price point, so I think that's fantastic. This is a Yolo yellow. Did I say that already? Number 1598, so I highly recommend this if you don't own it. Let's go ahead and do some China Glaze here. I pulled two polishes actually when I was looking through my Instagram that didn't look super similar on my page, but they look incredibly similar in the bottle. But one of them is an honorable mention, so I'll go ahead and tell you now. So Baroque Jungle, I think is really, really good. It came from the fall collection. Baroque Jungle, in comparison to the other that we're gonna look at, it's a little bit lighter. That's all. It was very similar. It's a little bit lighter, and you can see a little bit more of the blue. So I really did like it. If you were, you can consider this in one of my top 10, but like I said, it's an honorable mention. So if you were looking for something a little bit darker, I'd go for this one I'm about to show you. If you wanted something that's just a tiny bit lighter, go for Baroque Jungle. But the other one that I wanted to show you, which was my favorite holiday looking polish that was released mainstream this year, that's why I have it in here, was this other China Glaze that dries matte. That's a green, but it's a lot darker, and this is a holiday, like an evergreen looking matte green, and it is so beautiful. Yeah, I love their matte polishes when they don't dry too fast. When they dry too fast, they're frustrating for me. But this one's called The Perfect Holly Day, and this was released in their holiday collection, and it was one of my favorites for sure out of that collection. And if you don't have any like absolutely perfect green polishes for the holiday from mainstream, then I definitely recommend this one. Let's continue with China Glaze. I have two more here that I really liked. Let's just keep going with the matte trend. This one was in their summer collection and I thought it was gorgeous, and it really surprised me that it was in there. Actually, they have two oranges in there that I was really surprised by how much I loved them. This one's called Sunset Seeker, and this is the matte one in that collection, and there's just something about these polishes. I don't usually love orange, but this one just really got me, and I just love that ultra flat matte look. So I thought this was stunning. If you don't love matte polishes, you can just wear top coat with any of these mattes that I'm suggesting for you, and they're just gonna look like a beautiful glossy. Sometimes some of them are shimmery polish. So anyway, I definitely love that. And then the last China Glaze in this top 10 is Sin-derella, and that's with a S, like the word sin. And there's a hyphen in there. And this one was my other favorite, and this one is a beautiful shimmer. It is a shifty shimmer, so are you sensing a theme here? I just like it when these brands are starting to get outside their box a little bit and try some new things. I guarantee you that this polish was probably more expensive by double than all the other polishes in that collection, because interesting components cost a little bit more, and that's why they're not used as much, because they're trying to make more money, but it really pays off. I thought this polish was fantastic. So it's, again, kind of like a taupey. I just had to hold them up side by side as I heard myself describing it in the same way as this Essie. They're different because the Sin-derella one has very bright pink in its shiftiness, and they also have some tiny gold flecks in there. So they are slightly different, but they are kind of similar too, aren't they? The China Glaze one's a little bit darker and it has that bright pink. So they're definitely not dupes, but anyway, I really like that Sin-derella shade as well. I have a runner-up for you right here. This is from Orly, and this is Surfer Dude, and look at how bright that is. The only reason this isn't a runner-up spot is because Orly is pretty well known for their very bright colors for summer, and this one just only made runner-up because it was very similar to some polishes that they've released in the past. They always wow me with their brights or neons because they're not base coat needed neons. You don't need any white base coat with most of their neons that I've tried, which I love about them. And so this would have totally been in my top 10. But they have polishes just like this in their line. Not exact dupes, but very similar. So anyway, I love it, but it's not incredibly unique, and that's why it didn't quite make the top 10, but it's really good, you guys. I mean, just, am I searing your eyeballs yet? Probably. I'll stop. Okay, my last two polishes are from OPI, and these polishes have something very much in common with a number of the other ones I showed you, and that's because they have shimmer. Yeah, I definitely, I liked a certain thing this year, and these look incredibly similar to each other. One was released in the Iceland collection, and the other one was released in the XOXO holiday collection. So, basically, I wouldn't be surprised if they have the exact same shimmer in them. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And then what happened was they just went with a slightly different color on the base, because they do, when you look up close at them, the shimmer looks exactly the same. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. They found something that worked really well, and they just went ahead and produced it just slightly different for the next collection. I enjoyed both of them. So, anyway, let's start with the Iceland one. This is Turn on the Northern Lights, definitely my favorite out of that collection. A few of their other purples were kind of honorable mention kinds of shades. Susie and the Arctic Fox and Less is Norse were really great purples, but this one was my favorite because of that shifty, beautiful shimmer in there that's going from a pink to like a golden green. And please do more things like this, OPI. It's really fantastic. There are a lot of shifty kind of pigments out there, so you don't have to keep using the same one, but I didn't mind. I loved both of them. So I definitely recommend this. You can't really see the shimmer that well unless you get it nice and glossy. So don't forget your top coat with that. And then the other one that I really enjoyed, like I said, it's very similar. It just has a plummy purple base instead of like a blurple purple base. So this one is called Feel the Chemis-tree, like Christmas tree at the end. So it's like Christmas tree, but chemistry, I don't know. OPI always has the crazy names. yeah, I don't really need to describe this one very much for you. It's exactly like the other one, but plummy purple, and as you can see from the picture, it's absolutely stunning, and I loved it. So yeah, for the most part, other than that, OPI, I found them kind of boring this year. They did have a few, they had like 1 or 2 grays that I kind of liked, but for the most part, I feel like they released a lot of things that we've seen from them before. So that's why I really gravitated towards their shifty shades. I can't even think of a glitter that they released this year that I was crazy about. Maybe they didn't even release a glitter. I have a glitter on that they made in years past that I really, really like. Don't quote me on that. They might have had a glitter, but not one that I really remember that much. They did make a slightly hollowed hollow, so that was really cool. Anyway, so those are my top polishes. I actually didn't even mention Zoya in this video. Well, I'm mentioning it now. I looked through all of their polishes this year and none of them really quite made my top 10. Zoya is known for really great creams, like really reliable creams, but nothing that they put out this year really made me go like, whoa, I've never seen that before, or oh man, I just never want to take that off my nails. Or if it was a really great cream that I was just like crazy about the color, I had found that it was pretty similar to another color I already had. But you guys know I love Zoya. It's just when it came to picking my top 10, I mean, 10 is a very small number to choose out of, what did I say, 935. So anyway, that's why they're not in here. There's a ton of other mainstream brands that I reviewed this year, but these were my top favorites. So I hope you guys found that helpful. Definitely let me know some of your top mainstream polishes released this year. If you had a lot in common with me, if you own all these that I was talking about. If you don't, I definitely guarantee that if you purchase any of the ones I'm talking about, you will not be upset with them. I only recommended things that had great formula and I thought that were really beautiful, interesting colors. So I hope that you enjoyed this, you guys. We're at the end of 2017. I can't wait to see what brands are going to do in 2018. You know, I will be purchasing all of the collections that you are interested in because that's what I do, and live swatch them for you. If you're here to this video and you aren't a part of the channel, make sure you subscribe. I do live application of collections all the time. That's all I do basically here on this channel, so you can see how something applies before you purchase it. We didn't do that in today's video, but that's because there's a corresponding video for all of these polishes. So anyway, you guys, thanks for stopping on in. I will see you back for the next video. I'm going to be putting up my top 10 indie polishes released in 2017 next. So I will hopefully see you back for that. If you haven't yet dived into indie polishes, well, this would be a really great video to start with. So I hope to see you there, you guys. Have a great day. Thanks for giving me some of your time today, and I'll see you later. Bye.